Hi guys, today we're going to do an energizing vinyasa flow. So it will be quite strong and we'll move through the poses quite quickly. So if you need to take a break, make sure you do that. You can take a break in child's pose. So let's get started. Coming to the top of your mat in Tadasana pose. So the toes are together, heels slightly apart, or perhaps the feet slightly apart. And start to deepen your breathing. So breathing in through the nose, expand the belly. And exhale out of the mouth. Inhale through the nose. And exhale out of the mouth. One more time, inhaling through the nose. And then sighing with the mouth open. And start to really strengthen your Tadasana pose. So grounding down through all four corners of the feet, lift and spread the toes, place them back down. From here, we're just going to affirm the inner thighs towards the midline, engage the glutes slightly, draw the belly and the ribs in. So we're setting up for our foundation for our asana poses. Create some space in the collarbones and the shoulder blades. So we want a nice neutral shoulders and nice neutral pelvis. The gaze can be straight ahead. From here, closing the eyes for a moment. And if it's in your practice, just setting your intention for today, or perhaps repeating your Sankalpa. Your intention might be to give this a go, or it could also be to be kind to yourself. Try not to judge yourself too much. And then taking a deep breath in. And exhale. Open the eyes. Sweep the hands up. Bring the hands together and then to heart center. Taking a breath in. Inhale. Exhale. Just getting centered and grounded at the start of the practice. Inhale, bring the hands up. Exhale, come down, forward fold. So from here, you can pedal the legs just for a moment, just to get some movement. We're in Uttanasana pose. So from here, we want to bring the belly towards the thighs. So bending the knees as much as you need to make that happen. They can be bent a lot. They can be bent maybe just a tiny bit. We're going to slowly work on trying to lengthen the legs. Just shake the head no, nod the head yes to make sure that there's no tension in the neck. Maybe even here, holding on to opposite elbows. Take a deep breath in. Exhale. Drawing the ribs and navel in. Take another breath here. This is a great posture to start because it lengthens the spine. We allow gravity to do its thing. On the next inhale, we're going to bring the fingertips to the floor or to the shins. Halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, forward fold. And then from here, we're going to step back into a tabletop position. So we're going to set up the foundation for our tabletop. Bringing the hands underneath the shoulders, shoulders distance apart, knees underneath the hips, hip distance apart. And the index finger is pointing forward. Spread the fingertips wide and start to press down into the fingers, pressing down into the knuckles. And you'll notice that the arms start to fire up here. We can make this quite strong. From here, draw the arms towards each other. So isometrically engaging those biceps. And then draw the navel and the ribs in. So as you can see, this is can be quite strong. We're going to do some cat-cow poses to warm up the spine here. Inhale, draw the belly button down. The shoulder blades will draw down the back, looking up. Exhale, looking behind. Inhale, sweeping the head through, looking up. Exhale, looking behind. Inhale, looking up. Exhale, looking behind. Doing a few more rounds of cat-cow at your own pace. And then from here, we might like to roll the hips around, create some warming up the hips as well. Going one way, inhaling as we go forward, exhale back. Inhale forward, exhale back. We'll do the other side. Inhale forward, exhale back. Inhale forward and exhale back. Coming back to a neutral spine. We're just going to bring the hands forward slightly and then draw the chest down towards the ground. So maybe you're there, maybe you need to use the elbows, that's fine. Chest down, chin down. Take a breath here. And then back to child's pose. So from here, from child's pose, you can rest in this pose anytime you need to throughout the class. We're just going to bring the hands over to the left side, right hand on top of the left, stretching the side body. Take a breath here. And then coming back to center and then over to the right, stretching the side body here. Taking a breath. Back to center. We're in child's pose, taking a breath in. And exhale, draw the ribs and navel in. Come back to tabletop position. And we're going to set up that alignment. So the hands are underneath the shoulders. The knees are underneath the hips. So shoulders distance apart for the hands. And pressing, gripping really tight with the fingertips. Press the knuckles down, draw the arms in, okay? Tuck the back toes, and we're going to lift up the hips. From here, draw the navel in, the ribs in. Take 2 breaths. And then from here, we're going to bring the hips up and back for downward facing dog. So in downward facing dog, we can pedal the legs. Get some movement in the back of the legs there. And then find some stillness. And we're continuing to press down into the hands. So we really want to make those arms nice and active. If we do have any tight shoulders, try turning the hands out. That might be able to help that tightness. So from here, we want a nice long spine. Okay, bend the knees as much as you need to make the spine straight. Okay, so they might be a lot bent. Eventually, the heels will come to touch the ground. Eventually, maybe not today, but one day. So from here, taking a breath in and exhale. So we'll just hold it for a few more moments. Downward facing dog is also another resting pose. However, for a lot of us, it is quite strong. So from here, we're going to look forward and then step the feet up to the top of the mat. Halfway lift. Inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reaching the hands up. Exhale, bring the hands back down. Inhale, we're going to come back to our plank. Okay, now if you find that this is quite strong, shift the shoulders forward, put the knees down. Okay, actually, we'll all do that to start with. Pop the knees down. From here, we're going to bend the elbows. The elbows are going to point behind us. Now, if we find that it's really hard to bend the elbows back and we keep coming out, turn the hands out. That can help. So bend the elbows back and then coming all the way down to the mat. Untuck the toes. We're coming to cobra. Cobra pose you can use at any time instead of upward facing dog. So from here, engage the glutes. Push the feet into the mat. Draw the shoulders up. Draw the belly in. Taking your breath here. And then exhale, tuck the toes back to downward facing dog. Take a breath here. Inhale. And exhale. That was one sun salutation. So we'll do that again. So either step or maybe jump to the front of the mat. Halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, sweeping the hands up. Exhale, coming back down. Bring the hands by the sides. Come to plank. So if you need to take plank on your knees, shift the shoulders forward and then take it on your knees, okay? Bending the elbows, coming down to a cobra. Coming down all the way, untuck the toes, roll the shoulders back, engage the glutes, draw the belly button in, and we're just turning out the thighs slightly. Look forward, we want the neck nice and strong. Tucking, coming back up for downward facing dog. We'll do that 2 more times. Come to the front of the mat, halfway lift, exhale, forward fold. Inhale, sweeping the hands up. Exhale, forward fold. Come to a plank with the knees up or down. And then from here, shift forward, bend the elbows, and then sweep the chest through for upward facing dog. You can take cobra if you need to. Downward facing dog, exhale. So if upward facing dog is not accessible or it feels not quite right, always take cobra, which was the first the first little back bend that we did. All right, so let's do that again. Stepping or jumping to the front of the mat, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, sweep the hands up. Exhale, come down. Come to plank. Shift the body forward, bend the elbows. Chest comes through for upward facing dog. Make sure the glutes are engaged. Exhale, downward facing dog. Taking your breath here. Exhale. Maybe taking child's pose just for a moment if you need it. Not for too long. And then come back to downward facing dog. From here, we're going to lift up the right leg. Lifting up the right leg. So we want the leg to be in a line. All right. So we want the hips to be square. Take a breath here. And then now we're going to open up the hips, bend the knee, bring the foot towards the left side, right foot towards the left side. Opening up that hip. If you want to go a little bit further, you can bring the foot to the side and then open up the chest, pushing the chest up, bringing the hand back. Lifting up those hips. And then we'll come back to downward facing dog. Oh, sorry, one-legged dog. And then we'll bring that leg through. So if you land here, bring the leg through to the middle of the hand. So from here, we're going to bring the knee down. We're going to come into crescent lunge. So lift the arms up. Take a breath, inhale and exhale. You should be feeling this in the hip flexor. The foot can be bent or flat, the back foot. Draw the navel in and the ribs in. And as you inhale, imagine that you're drawing your torso away from the pelvis. And as you exhale, maybe sink a bit deeper. From here, we're going to try and fire up the hamstrings by drawing that front foot back. And you should feel the hamstrings in the front leg fire up. Take another breath here. Exhale, bring the hands down. Step forward, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, sweep the hands up. Exhale, come back down. From here, bring the hands by the sides of the feet. Sit down in your chair. Bring the weight to the back of the feet. Inhale, sweep the hands up for Utkatasana, chair pose. Now from here, draw the belly button in, draw the ribs in, and you should really be feeling that in the glutes. You should be able to lift up those toes, so we don't want any weight in the front of the feet. Take one more breath here. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Let's come back to our chaturanga dandasana. So high plank to low plank to upward facing dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take a few breaths here. Inhale and exhale. 2 more deep breaths. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, bring the left leg up. Keep the hands strong. Keep the leg in a line. Take a breath. Inhale and exhale. So opening up that leg. So we're bending the leg. The left foot's coming towards the right side, so either you can stay here or you can flip over and reach the hips and the chest up. The arm will come back. Take another breath here. Inhale and exhale. Come back to one-legged dog. And then bringing that knee to the chest, the foot comes forward. Knee down, back knee down. Inhale, reach the hands up. So with the alignment, we really want that ankle underneath the knee. The hips are square. And we're drawing that front foot back. Inhale, imagine you're drawing the torso away from the pelvis, creating space. Exhale, maybe sink a bit deeper. One more breath here. Inhale. Exhale, bring the hands to frame the foot. Back foot comes forward, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, sweep the hands up. Exhale, coming back down. But make sure the feet are together. Bring the hands by the sides, sitting in your chair. Inhale, reach the hands up. Draw the belly button in. Draw the front ribs in. Make sure the weight is in the back of the feet. Taking a few breaths here. Inhale and exhale. Inhale. Exhale, come down. Halfway lift. Inhale. Exhale. Either come back through your chaturanga or we'll meet in downward facing dog. So shoulders come over. Maybe you're on the knees. Then upward facing dog or cobra pose. Your choice. Exhale. Downward facing dog. Taking a few breaths here. Maybe the option to take child's pose just for a moment. One more breath. And then if you are not in downward facing dog, let's meet there. Now from here, lifting the right leg up. Inhale. Exhale, bring the right knee to the right elbow. Inhale. Right leg comes up. Exhale, right knee, left elbow. Inhale, the leg comes up. Exhale, knee to nose, bring that foot through. And then from here, you can either keep the knee on the ground or come up to crescent lunge or Anjaneyasana without the knee on the ground. So it's a little bit stronger. Take a breath here and exhale. One more breath here. Bring the hands down. We'll come back to the front of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, sweep the hands up. Exhale. Coming back down. Let's come back to our chair pose. Inhale, sweep the hands up. Bring the hands to heart center. And we're going to bring the right elbow to the left knee. So just look down and make sure your knees are in alignment, looking either towards the side or looking behind. One more breath here. And then exhale, forward fold, halfway lift, and forward fold. And we'll do chair pose again. So inhale, sweep the hands up. Exhale, bring the hands to heart center. Inhale, lengthen the spine. And exhale, twist. Just checking your knees are in alignment so we don't have one knee coming forward. One more breath here. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Bring the hands back to optional chaturanga. And then downward facing dog. Now let's do the other side. Inhale, lifting the left leg. Exhale, bring the knee to the left elbow. Inhale, leg up. Exhale, left knee, right elbow. Inhale, leg comes up. Exhale, knee to nose. Bring the foot in between the hands. And from here, sweeping the hands up. Option to stay on the knee. Taking your breath here. Draw the belly button in. Draw the ribs in. And then bring the hands down to frame the foot. The back foot comes forward. Halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. So from here, we're not going to take our chair. We're going to bring our hands underneath our feet with the palms facing up, and the toes will come to the creases of our wrists. So from here, draw the head down and just draw the elbows out slightly. We're going to try and lengthen the legs. Okay, so taking your breath, inhale, exhale, maybe try and lengthen. Inhale, exhale, try and lengthen. One more breath. And then from here, let's take the hands out. We'll come through one vinyasa. So high plank to low plank, upward facing dog or cobra, downward facing dog. Let's come to child's pose. Taking a deep breath in and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Taking the rests when they're there. So we'll do one more flow and then we'll start to cool down. Let's meet back in downward facing dog. And then before we go into the flow, we're just going to come to a plank. Bring the left hand in between the chest or on the mat in the middle. Come to a plank, lifting up that right arm. Now you can bring the knee down. You can bring one foot forward, lifting up the hips. Maybe bringing the arm forward. And then come back to a plank. The right hand comes to the middle. We'll go to the pinky toe edge of the right foot, lifting up that arm. So taking your modification. We want to micro bend in that elbow. And then from here, let's come back to downward facing dog. So the hands are shoulders distance apart. Draw the belly button in. And from here, we're going to lift up the right leg. And we're going to bring it through to the center of the hands. We're going to pivot the back foot. So normally we line up the heel to the arch, okay? So if you can do that and keep the hips square, try and do that. I need to widen my stance slightly to try and keep the hips square. Now, if you still find that that is too much, you can put a bend in the back leg, or you can come to Anjaneyasana, so crescent pose instead, as some modifications. So from here, inhale, sweep the hands up, take a breath in, and exhale. Come a little bit deeper, draw the belly button in. Inhale and exhale. Taking one more breath here. And then from here, we're going to turn towards the left side and open up to our warrior two. Now we want to line up the heel and the arch of the back foot. So I'm going to move my feet closer to the midline. We're bending the right knee. And from here, open up the hands, looking over the front fingertips. Inhale, sweep the palm. Exhale, bring the elbow to the knee, sweep the left arm up and over, maybe looking up. See how your neck feels. Inhale, back to warrior two. And from here, we're going to take one step forward. We're going to reach the hand down to the ground, and it might help if you have a block. And we're coming into half moon pose. So the hands underneath the shoulder, the hips are stacked, the shoulders stacked. So engage those muscles. So really grounding down into the standing foot. Toes are spread wide. Lift up the knee of the standing foot to engage the quads. And then exhale. We'll come to standing splits. Taking a few breaths here. And then halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, sweep the hands up. Exhale, come down. Optional, chaturanga dandasana. So high to low plank. Upward facing dog to downward facing dog. Take a breath here. Inhale, lift the left leg. Exhale, bring it through. Pivot that back foot so that we're coming into warrior one. Inhale, sweep the hands up. Take your modification. So if you did Anjaneyasana, which is crescent lunge on the other side, do that again. Maybe widen the stance if you need to keep the hips square. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Taking the hands, oh no, we're coming to warrior two, aren't we? So opening the hips up to warrior two, and I'm going to change my alignment so that my heel is in line with the arch of my back foot. Shoulders are stacked over the hips, draw the belly button in, inhale, and exhale, look to the front of the mat. Inhale, exhale. Next inhale, sweep the hand up. Exhale, come to side angle pose. Maybe the hands up high, maybe it's extended towards the front of the mat. Come back to warrior two. And then just moving your back foot in a little bit, we come to half moon pose. Ardha Chandrasana. So opening the hips. And if you fall out, just come back in. I've chosen, I think, the hottest day in Kalgoorlie to do this power flow. Whoop. And you might notice, like me, that you're better at balancing on one side than the other. So really ground down through the standing foot, engage the quad muscles, and open up the hips and the shoulders. Oh, there we go. Come down to standing splits. Take a couple of breaths here. And then bring the foot back to the front. Halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Bring the hands down for the final vinyasa or chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Exhale, down dog. And from here,
we're going to bring our right knee to the right wrist to pigeon pose. It's really good for opening up that right hip area. Now, if you want a deeper stretch, you can bring it a little bit closer so that the shin is parallel to the front of the mat. Inhale, and then exhale, come down. Or stopping wherever you feel comfortable. So if this is comfortable for you, stay here. And then coming back up. Maybe bring the foot towards the body if you need to. And we're going to place the left hand down, bring that right hand around to the left foot. And then pull the foot into the body. Inhale, pull the foot in. Exhale, push the foot away. And then bring that down. Come back to downward facing dog. And we'll do the other side. Left knee to the left wrist. Pigeon pose. And adjusting if you need to. So we want the hips square here. If you find that you're, well, it is better to have the hips square. If you find that your left hip is a little bit high, maybe place something underneath it, maybe like a block or a pillow. And then inhale, exhale, we'll come down. Take a few breaths here. On the next inhale, we'll come back up and plant the right hand down. Bring the left hand around, bending that back leg, and then grabbing onto the foot. So pulling that foot in and exhale, pushing the foot against the hand. Take a couple of breaths here. And then bring that leg down. Come over to the left side and we're just going to come to a forward fold just for a moment. So move the fleshy part of the butt out of the way, or maybe kind of come backwards. Flexing the feet. And maybe here, you might be feeling this in the calf muscles and the hamstrings already. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale. I want you to engage the front of the leg, so engage the quads here. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, come down slightly. Inhale. Exhale, come down again. Inhale one more time. And then maybe you can touch your feet, maybe you can't, that's fine. And then maybe come down all the way. On the next inhale, we'll come back up and we'll finish on a twist. So, bringing the right foot over the left. So either keeping the left leg long, or you could even bend it, whatever is more comfortable for you. So I want you to make sure your spine is nice and long. Make sure both hips are on the ground. And then from here, just turning towards the right. So you can look to the side, you can look behind. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, turn a little bit more. So don't crank into the neck. So stop where you feel comfortable. Inhale, lengthen. And exhale, twist a little bit more. Inhale to lengthen. And exhale, twisting. And then come back to center, and we'll do the other side. So Left foot over the right, maybe bend in the knee. Lengthen the spine, maybe bringing that left hand behind. Lengthen the spine, turn to face the left. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale to deepen. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, deepen. Continue breathing. Rinsing out the spine. Looking behind if you can. And then coming back to center. Extend the legs long. This is the best part of the class. And relaxing into Shavasana. Toes coming out towards the sides. Hands by the sides, palms facing up, the eyes closed. So there's something really satisfying about doing a really strong practice and then coming into Shavasana at the end. Taking a few breaths. And ideally, we want to stay here for about minimum 5 or 6 minutes. So let the body rest to find some time to ourselves. Definitely congratulate yourself on getting through the class, making it to the end. And I'll finish it here, but I recommend that you stay in Shavasana for as long as you need to. So if you're finishing with me, rolling over to the side, pushing yourself up to a seated position. And bring the hands to heart center. Inhale. And exhale, bow the head. Bring the thumbs to the third eye. Give yourself a massage. Looking up, open the eyes, namaste. Thank you guys, thanks for a great class.